As men cross the age of 60, the body begins to whisper truths it never spoke before. Energy shifts, circulation slows, and confidence can quietly fade in areas that once felt effortless. But what if the solution isn't found in pills, prescriptions, or complicated treatments? What if the power to restore strength, vitality, and performance is already within your own hands? Today, we're uncovering 3 powerful, little-known pressure points that can naturally support stronger erections, improve blood flow, and awaken dormant energy in your body. These are simple, effective, and rooted in ancient wisdom, yet backed by modern understanding of circulation and nerve stimulation. Stay with me because what you're about to learn could change not just your physical health, but your confidence, your presence, and your sense of control again. Listen carefully. Most men reach a certain age and quietly accept a story that was never meant to be theirs. A story that says this is just how it is now. Energy fades, strength declines, performance weakens, and slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to believe their body is working against them. But that belief is the real problem because your body is not broken. It hasn't betrayed you. It hasn't shut down. What's really happening is far more subtle and far more hopeful. Your body is experiencing blockages. Blocked circulation, slowed nerve signals, reduced responsiveness caused by years of stress, tension, poor movement, and disconnection. Think of it like a powerful river that once flowed freely. Over time, debris builds up. The flow becomes weaker, slower, restricted. But the river itself, it's still there. The power hasn't disappeared. It's just being held back. This is exactly what happens inside the body. Blood flow is the foundation of strength and performance. Without strong circulation, nothing functions at its peak. Oxygen delivery decreases. Tissues become less responsive. Signals from the brain don't travel as efficiently. And what feels like loss is often just interruption. Now, here's where it becomes powerful. When you begin stimulating specific pressure points, you are not forcing your body to do something unnatural. You are reminding it of what it already knows how to do. These nakoth act like switches, tiny access points into your nervous system. When activated, they send signals that reopen pathways, improve circulation, and restore communication between your brain and body. It's like knocking on a door that hasn't been opened in years, and suddenly hearing movement on the other side. But this requires a shift in mindset. You must stop seeing yourself as someone who is declining and start seeing yourself as someone who is reactivating. Because the moment you believe your body is capable again, you begin to treat it differently. You move differently. You commit differently. And your body responds to that every time you apply pressure. Every time you take a moment to reconnect, you are sending a message. Wake up. Flow again. Respond again. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about restoring function. It's about clearing the pathways that time and habit have slowly narrowed. And once those pathways begin to open, even slightly, you start to feel it. A subtle shift, a return of awareness, a spark that reminds you, you're still here and your body is still listening. That realization alone can change everything. There is a point on your body that most people walk on every single day without ever realizing the power it holds. Just above your inner ankle, in a small, almost hidden area, lies a connection point that speaks directly to your core vitality. It doesn't look like much. It doesn't feel extraordinary at first touch. But beneath the surface, it is deeply linked to circulation pathways that influence the pelvic region and reproductive system. Over time, as the body ages, blood flow to this area can become less efficient. It's not sudden. It happens gradually, a little less movement, a little more sitting, a little more tension in the muscles. And slowly, the pathways that once carried strong geryon begin to narrow. This is where many men start to notice changes, but they don't understand why. Now imagine this point as a doorway that has been slightly closed over the years, not locked, not broken, just underused. When you apply gentle, steady pressure to this inner ankle point, you begin to push that door open again. You stimulate the nerves connected to deeper systems. You encourage blood to move more freely. You activate a response that travels upward through the body, reaching areas that depend on strong circulation. But the key here is not force, it's awareness. Use your thumb and locate the soft area just above the ankle bone on the inside of your leg. Press slowly, firm but not painful. Hold it there. Breathe deeply. Stay present in that moment. At first, it may feel like nothing is happening. That's normal. The body doesn't always respond instantly, especially if it has been in a dormant state for a long time. But with consistency, something begins to shift. You might feel a slight warmth spreading upward, a subtle tingling, a sense of connection that wasn't there before. These are signs that circulation is improving, that signals are moving again, that your body is starting to wake up from within. And here's what most people don't realize. This simple daily action is not just physical, it's neurological. It's sending a message through your entire system that says reconnect, restore, reactivate. Do it every day, not once, not randomly, but consistently. Morning or night, it doesn't matter, as long as you show up, because real change doesn't come from intensity. It comes from repetition, from reminding your body again and again until it responds naturally. This small point, this quiet place near your ankle, holds more influence than most men ever imagine. And when you begin to work with it patiently and intentionally, you are not just pressing skin. You are unlocking a pathway that has been waiting for your attention. Now bring your awareness to a place that sits at the very center of your body's power, just below your navel. This area has been recognized for centuries as a source of deep vitality, a core hub where strength, energy, and life force are cultivated and stored. Yet in modern life, most men are completely disconnected from it. They rush through their days, breathe shallowly, carry stress in their muscles, and this powerful center becomes quiet, almost forgotten. But it never loses its potential. As the years pass, tension begins to settle in the lower abdomen. Muscles tighten, blood flow becomes restricted, and the connection between mind and body weakens. It's not something you notice overnight. It's gradual, subtle, until one day, you realize that the responsiveness you once had isn't as strong, not as immediate, not as reliable. What if the issue isn't loss, but disconnection? When you begin to gently press and massage the area just below your navel, you are doing something far more significant than it appears. You are activating a central nukta that influences circulation to the entire pelvic region. You are stimulating the nerves that support internal organs. And most importantly, you are bringing your awareness back to a place that controls so much of your physical confidence. Place your hand there, not rushed, not distracted. Slowly begin to move in small circular motions. Apply gentle pressure, enough to feel but not enough to strain. And as you do this, breathe deeply. Let your breath move into that area. Expand your abdomen as you inhale. Soften as you exhale. This combination, touch and breath, is powerful because your body doesn't just respond to pressure, it responds to intention. When you slow down and focus, you begin to reestablish a connection that may have been dormant for years. Blood begins to flow more freely. Oxygen reaches deeper tissues. The nervous system becomes more engaged. At first, the changes may feel almost invisible. A slight warmth, a subtle awareness. But over time, with consistency, that awareness grows stronger. The mantika begins to feel alive again, responsive, present. And this is where transformation begins, not in sudden dramatic shifts, but in steady, undeniable progress. There's something else happening here that goes beyond the physical. When you reconnect with your core, you rebuild confidence from the inside out. You're no longer relying on external solutions or temporary fixes. You are taking control of your own system, your own energy, your own strength. This simple daily practice becomes more than a technique, it becomes a ritual. A moment where you step away from noise, from stress, from distraction, and return to yourself. And in that return, you rediscover something powerful. Not just function, but control. Not just movement, but connection. Not just hope, but certainty that your body is still capable of responding, improving, and growing stronger with the right attention. All it takes is a few minutes each day, and the decision to reconnect with what has always been within you. Now here's something that surprises almost everyone. One of the most powerful triggers for improving circulation and reducing internal tension isn't located near your core at all. It's in your hand. Right between your thumb and index finger lies a nukta that has a profound influence over your entire nervous system. At first, it may seem unrelated. How could a point in your hand affect something as deep and complex as physical performance? But the body doesn't work in isolated parts, it works as an interconnected system. And this small area acts like a control switch for stress, tension, and blood flow. You see, one of the biggest hidden obstacles to strength and responsiveness is not age, it's stress. Stress tightens blood vessels, it restricts circulation, it keeps your body in a constant state of alert, where relaxation and tabiri function become difficult. Even if everything else is working, stress alone can interrupt the signals your body needs to perform at its best. This is where this hand pressure point becomes powerful. Ply your thumb from one hand into the soft space between the thumb and index finger of the other hand. You'll feel a slightly tender spot when you press firmly. That tenderness is not weakness, it's sensitivity. It's a sign that this point is active and connected. Steady pressure. Not too hard, but firm enough to feel. Hold it for several seconds, then release slowly. As you do this, pay attention to your breathing. Slow it down, let your shoulders drop, let your jaw relax. Within moments, something begins to shift. Your body starts to calm. The tightness you didn't even realize you were holding begins to fade. Your nervous system moves from a state of tension into a state of balance. And when that happens, blood flow improves naturally, without force, without struggle. This is what makes this technique so powerful. It doesn't attack the problem directly. It removes the barrier that's been blocking the solution. And the best part? You can do it anytime, sitting, standing, watching television. Even during a conversation, no one needs to know. But inside your body, a quiet transformation is taking place. You are releasing pressure, you are restoring flow, you are giving your system the space it needs to function the way it was designed to. Over time, as you repeat this simple action daily, you begin to notice more than just physical changes. You feel more in control, less anxious, more present. And that mental shift plays a massive role in physical performance because the body follows the mind. When the mind is calm, the body responds. When tension disappears, function returns. And when you learn how to activate this small but powerful point in your hand, you gain access to a level of control that most people never even realize exists. It's simple, it's subtle. But when practiced consistently, it becomes a quiet force that supports your entire system from the inside out. There's something most people don't want to hear because it sounds too simple. It doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't promise instant results. But it carries more power than any quick fix ever could, and that is consistency, not intensity, not perfection. Consistency, you can learn every technique, discover every pressure point, understand every method, but if you don't show up for it daily, none of it will matter. The body doesn't respond to what you do once, it responds to what you repeat. Think about how these changes happened in the first place. It wasn't overnight, it wasn't sudden, it was years of patterns. Less movement, more stress, less awareness. Small things, repeated daily, created the condition you're now trying to improve. And here's the good news. That same principle works in your favor. When you begin applying these pressure points every single day, you are slowly retraining your body. You are telling your system again and again, this is the new normal. This is the new pattern. At first, it might feel like nothing is changing. You might question it. You might wonder if it's working at all. That's the moment most people stop, and that's why most people never see results. Because real transformation is quiet in the beginning. It starts beneath the surface. Circulation improves gradually. Nerve sensitivity begins to return slowly. Your body is adapting, adjusting, recalibrating, but it doesn't always announce it immediately. This is where discipline separates results from regret. You don't need to spend hours doing this. Just a few focused minutes each day, pressing the points, breathing deeply, staying present. That's it. But those few minutes, repeated every day, begin to stack up. One day becomes three becomes 7, a week becomes a month. And without even realizing it, you've built a habit that is actively restoring your body from the inside out. And then something happens. You begin to notice changes, subtle at first. Maybe a little more responsiveness, a little more confidence, a little more control. And those small wins start to build momentum. That momentum fuels belief. And belief changes how you show up, not just in this practice, but in your overall health. You start moving more, paying more attention, respecting your body again instead of ignoring it. Consistency doesn't just change your body, it changes your identity. You go from someone who hopes for improvement to someone who is actively creating it. And that shift is everything. Because once you understand that small, repeated actions can create real, lasting change, you stop searching for shortcuts. You stop chasing quick fixes. You realize that the power has been in your hands all along. So don't underestimate the simple act of showing up every day. It may not feel dramatic in the moment, but over time, it becomes the very thing that transforms everything. There comes a moment in every man's life where he quietly asks himself a difficult question. Is this just how it is now? And for many, after 60, that question starts to feel like a conclusion rather than a curiosity. They begin to accept less energy, less strength, less control, not because it's truly gone, but because they've been conditioned to believe it is. But here's the truth most people never say out loud. Control is not something you lose with age. It's something you slowly give away through inaction, neglect, and disconnection. And the moment you decide to take it back, everything begins to shift. Reclaiming control doesn't mean turning back time. It doesn't mean becoming who you were at 30 or 40. It means stepping fully into who you are now, with awareness, with intention, and with a renewed sense of responsibility for your own body, because your body is still listening. Every time you stimulate these pressure points, every time you breathe deeply and reconnect, you are sending a clear message. I'm not done. I'm still in charge. And your body responds to that message. It adapts. It improves. It begins to wake up in ways you may not have felt in years. This is not just about physical performance. It's about confidence. It's about presence. It's about walking through your day with a quiet certainty that you still have influence over how you feel and how your body responds. Too many people hand that power over to age, to doubt, to assumptions. They stop trying. They stop paying attention. And slowly that lack of attention becomes their reality. But you're choosing something different. You're choosing to engage, to act, to take small, deliberate steps that lead to real change. And that decision alone separates you from the majority, because control is built, not given. It's built in the small moments, when you choose to practice instead of ignore, when you choose discipline instead of comfort, when you choose belief instead of doubt. Those moments may seem insignificant on their own, but together they create a powerful shift in how your body functions and how you experience life. And here's something even deeper. When you reclaim control in one area of your life, it begins to spread. You start making better choices. You carry yourself differently. You feel more grounded, more capable, more certain of yourself. That confidence is not fake. It's earned. It comes from knowing that you didn't accept decline. You challenged it. You didn't give up control. You took it back. So this is your moment, not to wish for change, not to wait for it, but to create it through simple, consistent actions that remind your body of what it's still capable of. Because even after 60, strength is still possible. Confidence is still available. Control is still within reach. And the moment you decide to reclaim it is the moment everything begins to change.